Hello! This is a quick first session impression for the Impact Skateboard. First things first, I give Impact Skateboards permission to use my video and likeness for promotional purposes. My name is Liam. I got back into skating 2 years ago after a 15-year hiatus. I skated for like 10 years prior to that, on and off, but yeah. So I've always been someone that breaks a lot of skateboards. I have skated about 8 flight decks and 5 VX decks at this point. So I'll likely draw a lot of comparisons between those two, as they're probably the most popular ones. So my first impressions of this board, it's like no skateboard I've ever touched. It's covered in what feels like plastic, so the top is sealed. I've covered it up, obviously with grip, but the top is like, it was covered in like this weird like waxy stuff. The sides are covered in this plastic, which I believe is polyurethane. Pretty cool. The bottom, I don't know if you can see this, it has this weird like bumpy texture. It's like sort of corrugated. I think that's what helps you slide. This is my first session, so I just did a quick flip off this ledge and just a ollie down the stairs because I was only there for an hour. So it's hard to say how much it will hold up because I need to fuck up the trick basically and land badly. So time will tell on that. So I've got very used to skating VX decks and I really like the steepness of the kicks. This deck is similar to a flight deck in terms of steepness. It's about 18 degrees in steepness versus the VX, which is like 21 degrees. So you feel, I know it's 3 degrees, but you feel it. If you skate, you feel it like millimeters, degrees, like, yeah, just a little bit makes a big difference. So I think this is something I'm going to get used to, but right now I really miss the extra pop. Worthy feedback for Impact Skateboards is that not everyone skates VX decks and flight decks because they break boards. Some people just like the way they feel, like because they're thin and really flexible. So some people just like that. This board's actually lighter than a VX deck or a flight deck. I weighed my VX deck and it was 1.5 kg, and this deck is 1.25 kg. But the VX decks and the flight decks feel lighter to skate, and I think it's because of that thinness and the fact that they're more flexy. They just feel like more fragile under your feet. But this feels just like a maple board really to skate, like a bit weightier. Something else I noticed as well is probably for ease of production, but the wheelbase does not get any larger the wider the board gets. So I've got an 8.5 and it has a 14.25 wheelbase, and that's the same with the 8-inch and the 8.25. Just something to think about. So in terms of slidiness, I noticed this straight away. I didn't put any wax on my tail or nose. I just wanted to see what it felt like to land on the ledge dry. And you feel the slidiness right away. That's really cool. And it wasn't weird. It just felt like you waxed your board up correctly to do a slide. So it didn't feel like crazy fast or crazy slidey, you know what I mean? So in terms of board feel, despite it feeling weird to touch, and you know when you tap your board on the floor, like even when it rolls on the floor and hits on the side, this one makes a weird noise. It makes a weird noise, but it doesn't feel weird to skate. It feels exactly like a maple board, and it sounds like a maple board when you pop, but just that tap I think when you're tapping that side polyurethane, you can feel it, and it's good. Again, in terms of its durability, like I've skated it for an hour. So it's hard to say how durable it'll be, but I plan to do a follow-up to this when I skate this for as long as I possibly can. My aim is that if I have to buy a more expensive board so I don't snap it immediately, then it also needs to last me, you know, the equivalent of what a normal maple board would be for someone to buy monthly. Which is, I think this is a great thing they're doing, and it makes a lot of sense, and hopefully that solves that issue for me. Though I would say, and I don't know if you can see this, you can see that material is already being removed from skating it. It doesn't mean it won't last, it's just worth pointing out that, like, you know, it's not a complete tank. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm already taking material off the tail. It's already starting to, yeah, it's hard to line up, but it's already starting to take a bit of material off there. So whether that will raise the tail like a normal board, it probably will. Maybe it'll do it slower. Hopefully it'll do it slower. For reference, this is what my last board's tail and nose looked like after I'd skated it for like only 3 weeks. So like I'm the perfect candidate to test this because I fucking destroy boards. Oh, Impact Skateboards also say these are waterproof, and though it looks like they are, it's not something I want to test right away. I've just put like fresh pepper grip on there. I don't want to ruin my grip. But towards this end of its life, maybe I'll chuck it in a pond and then try and skate it. I don't know. So far, this board feels great, and I think what they're trying to do is amazing, and it's particularly an issue close to my heart that I hope it resolves. My only gripe is a completely personal preference one, and they're things I've spoken about, and that's a longer wheelbase. When you got up to an 8.5, a longer wheelbase, I'm 6'4", so a longer wheelbase would be preferable for me, like 14.375 or maybe a little bit bigger. And steeper kicks. I mean, like I said, I might get used to it, but at the moment I'm really missing the steepness. Steeper kicks just feel better, in my opinion. So although Impact Skateboards do incentivise everyone to review this, I wanted to anyway because I couldn't find the information myself on the internet. So if you find this and it helps, then great. I'm glad. But anyway, that's all I've got to say for now. I'll be back once I've skated this to death. Anyway, thanks. Bye. Oh,